Hey y'all, welcome back. Mama Dr. Jones, ObGyn, and Mom24. I have reverted to the very old intro. Hey y'all, welcome back. I'm Mama Dr. Jones, a board certified ObGyn and Mom24, and it's everybody's favorite time of the month. Much better than that other time of the month where we review a famously entertaining episode of TLC's I Didn't Know I Was Pregnant and run it with educational commentary. This is season 1, episode 1, and it is such a good video. It really takes us back to the root of the screenwriting and editing on the reenactments that TLC does. Tons to learn as usual. Let's get into the video. Thank you to NordVPN for sponsoring this video. We will hear more about them in a minute.
Amanda Brisendine's history of ovarian cysts led to the removal of one of her ovaries at the age of 23. In the years following her surgery, Amanda's history of cysts still causes her periods to be irregular.
I missed 2 months, but that was normal for me.
Amanda does not use birth control because she believes the removal of one of her ovaries made her infertile.
I really honestly didn't think I was able to have children.
Hopefully, she doesn't think that because someone told her that. However, I have heard many times of people being told incorrectly that removing one ovary or one tube would lead them to be infertile. And this is absolutely not true. Taking out one ovary might reduce fertility ever so slightly, but it is not in any way going to make you infertile. You're still going to ovulate each month. It's just going to be taken over by the ovary on the other side, and you still have 2 tubes. You can still get pregnant. You still need birth control. Additionally, on top of that, it sounds like she has PCOS or polycystic ovarian syndrome because she's describing having cystic ovaries, but she also is stating that she has irregular periods, meaning her cycles don't come on time. She's got an ovary, she's having cycles, and she's not using birth control. This is a setup for pregnancy, in case you didn't know.
However, at 25, Amanda gets pregnant and gives birth to her daughter Melody.
I thought she was the lucky exception to me having kids. I didn't think it was possible.
The young mother gets her period about every other month, but she starts using condoms just in case. The year that Amanda turns 26, the single mom and part-time student goes to school by day and struggles to make ends meet by working at a grocery store at night.
Wow, you've been packing it on a little bit there, honey, huh?
Amanda gains nearly
I never ever get over the editing and screenwriting in these reenactments. Why would anyone ever say that? That is so rude. Wow, really packing it on there.
You've been packing it on a little bit there, honey, huh?
If you are out there in the world saying this to people, stop. Never acceptable. Not okay.
She's been struggling with her weight ever since the birth of her daughter Melody less than a year ago.
Tried to quit smoking, so I was eating more.
Amanda also believes that her grandmother Claudia's cooking is to blame.
She would tell people, well, the reason she gained weight was because I used a lot of butter and sugar and stuff, which is not true.
Over
The poor grandma. That is so funny. Oh my gosh. That may be one of my favorite moments included in these episodes ever. She basically blamed it on me and my cooking and said I used a bunch of sugar and butter, but that's not true.
Which is not true.
As TLC edits in French toast slathered in butter and sugary syrup. Everybody hating on grandma's cooking.
In late October 2006, Amanda begins experiencing severe abdominal cramping. Amanda describes her symptoms to the doctor on duty.
Did you be pregnant?
No.
You are, in fact, pregnant.
It was a shock when she said that I was pregnant.
Doctors order an ultrasound to confirm the findings.
37 weeks.
It actually took a few minutes before I realized that 37 weeks is pretty close to 40 weeks, and that's the end of your pregnancy.
To zoom in on that ultrasound tech's mouth, this editing, it kills me. I love it. I don't know why, but I love it so much. It's so like dramatic and ridiculous.
I should have known. How could you not know?
It sounds like she had symptom of weight gain. Her periods were irregular, so maybe she missed some periods. Maybe she was still having bleeding on and off. Who knows? But it's not like most people intentionally pretend they don't know they're pregnant. She truly believed that she was not pregnant, and she did the best she could with the information that she had.
Except that she's going to have a baby.
She's 37 weeks pregnant.
37.
There's nothing that would have prepared me for having a baby in 3 weeks.
We have no crib, we have no bed, we have no clothes, we have nothing for the baby.
Doesn't she have another baby that's relatively small? Surely they have something, but all in all, you don't need all of that much for babies. Just a car seat to take them home, maybe some diapers and boobs or formula, and you should be good to go. They don't need all that much right away.
Amanda, I hear you just got some shocking news. Is the baby gonna be okay? Well, we'll get you started on some prenatal vitamins right away.
Since Amanda didn't know she was pregnant, she has had no prenatal care, and she has done nothing to adjust her life.
All right, listen to me right now. If you're 37 weeks pregnant, starting prenatal vitamins is probably not going to do a single thing for your pregnancy. Prenatal vitamins, especially with folic acid, are extremely important because folic acid prevents neural tube defects. This is something that you need to be on when you get pregnant, or ideally even before you get pregnant. 37 weeks, you can take a prenatal vitamin if you want. You want to keep taking it for 6 weeks after you have a baby anyway, but that is definitely not the priority if you just found out you're pregnant at 37 weeks.
And she has done nothing to adjust her lifestyle to protect the health of the fetus.
I was lifting a lot of heavy things, which I wouldn't have done. So yeah, there's a lot of things I wouldn't have done if I'd known.
I say this in every episode, I think, but you do the best you can with the information that you have. Sure, you may have done things different if you knew back then, but you didn't, and now you don't have to feel guilty about that. Just do your best, move forward, and just give yourself permission to process that and let it go.
The doctor orders extensive tests to monitor the health of the baby. She diagnoses Amanda's pains as false labor.
I was kind of in a daze. I decided to call the father. He was shocked. He actually thought that I was lying to him.
Hey, can you hold on? I'm getting another call. Hello?
Did you see all those crazy jump cuts? I can't do it. I'm gonna start editing my videos like that.
Doctor has reviewed her tests and is gravely concerned that the life of Amanda's baby could be in jeopardy.
Is the baby gonna be okay?
I have no idea what they could have found.
True or false, women in their 30s and 40s are more likely to become pregnant with twins than women in their 20s. The answer when we return.
Thank you to the wonderful sponsor of today's video, NordVPN. Let me put this in terms that my audience will understand. You wouldn't have sex on a one-night stand without using a condom because you watch my videos and you know that's how to protect yourself. So why are you using public Wi-Fi without a VPN? VPN stands for Virtual Private Network, and this is essentially a tunnel to protect your information, your identity, and your internet connection so that you can safely use public Wi-Fi. Another great benefit of using a VPN is that you can set your location to anywhere that you want, and you can access streaming content on your favorite platform even if it's not available in your physical area. This has been a huge plus for me having just moved abroad because I can access my favorite content that I was already in the middle of streaming even if it's not available in the area that we're in now. NordVPN is super easy to use, arguably easier than the protection we discussed earlier, and that itself is quite easy to use. With one click, you connect on any major platform. I even use it on my cell phone, and then you're encrypted and protected all the way around. So if you'd like to protect yourself using NordVPN and support my channel in the process, you can get a 2-year plan with an additional month at a huge discount by going to NordVPN/Dr. Jones using the link in the description box below or putting in code DRJones at checkout. Now, let's get back to the video.
The answer? True. As women age, they tend to produce higher amounts of follicle-stimulating hormone, which is the hormone that drives the ovaries to produce mature eggs. After being sent home with a due date 3 weeks away, Amanda gets an urgent call asking her to return to the hospital.
Is the baby gonna be okay?
The fluid around the baby was real low, and they were worried that, there might be a problem.
We are a little bit concerned about your amniotic sac. Baby isn't moving as much as we'd like to see it. I recommend an emergency C-section.
There has to be more to this story than just the fluid is low. This person has also said the baby's not moving well, so maybe they've done monitoring and the baby looks very concerning on monitoring. I would never, and most people shouldn't ever, recommend a C-section purely on the basis of low amniotic fluid. This is called oligohydramnios, low amniotic fluid, or anhydramnios, no amniotic fluid. In a baby that is measuring around 37 weeks, you would just usually induce or do a C-section if there were other indications for a C-section. Although it is true that when the fluid is lower as you get closer to term, there is a higher chance of needing a C-section because there is a higher likelihood of the baby not tolerating contractions well because it just doesn't have that buffer between the contracting uterus and the placenta and the baby. And so there's a higher chance of compressing the cord and just having heart rate abnormalities that would necessitate a C-section. But that is not a reason to go straight to C-section. The fact that they said baby's moving less or not as much as they expect makes me think that they did some other testing that TLC has not included in this discussion.
When?
Right now.
Mostly I remember them rolling me from one table and then staring up at this big bright light.
The newborn is immediately removed from the operating room.
You did a really good job.
After he was done, they told me that I'd done a really good job, but I couldn't figure out what I'd done.
I love that.
Nobody was in my room with me, and so yeah, the waiting was horrible.
I love how they make it seem like she just got left in the OR. Like everyone was like, well, excellent job. You stay here, we're leaving.
Since Amanda didn't know she was pregnant, she indulged in behaviors that could have harmed her baby.
Want one? You know you do. Come on.
God, you're right.
I was still smoking, probably a good half pack a day.
Smoking during pregnancy can increase a few things, and they all generally come down to affecting how well blood flows through the placenta. So it is associated with intrauterine growth restriction or baby not growing well. It can be associated with abruption or the placenta not connecting well to the side of the uterus and coming off with contractions or trauma or anything like that and causing massive bleeding that can be life-threatening to both the person who is pregnant and the baby. And it can also be associated with other things earlier on in pregnancy like miscarriage and also preterm labor. This is problematic. However, there's nothing she can do about it now, so she's probably thinking back and just, you know, the same thing we talked about earlier. You just have to move forward. You didn't know, and now you do.
After what feels like years, he does arrive. Miraculously, even at 3 weeks premature, 7-pound, 5-ounce Alexander is a perfectly healthy baby boy.
3 weeks premature is not that much. I mean, we consider 37 weeks to be full term, so I wouldn't call it miraculous that he is a good weight and healthy at 37 weeks in general, but I would call it, you know, lucky that he's in great health, apparently, despite the fact that she didn't know she was pregnant. She was engaging in relatively unsafe pregnancy behaviors and she didn't get any prenatal care.
The waiting was hard, but once I saw him, it was just like, that's my son. There was like this warm, fuzzy feeling, and it was great.
He was so perfect looking when I saw him.
They're still in the operating room, and did you see the table with all the operating materials, all the surgical tools behind it? TLC. Okay, I'm gonna give it to them on this one because this is the first time that they had released this show. So maybe they were struggling a little with the realistic editing, although we all know that throughout all the rest of the seasons, it continues to be just as entertaining.
How is it possible for Amanda to not have known that she was pregnant?
I'm not sure. It would be hard to believe. I think a lot of people felt that way about me, but, you know, it's just something that happened.
He's perfect.
We can't ever answer this question, right? And we see it in almost every episode, and there's comments under every video. Why didn't they feel the baby kick? Why didn't they realize it? Why didn't they recognize it? She's had a baby before. She should know. I can't answer that. It could be that every pregnancy symptom is different, and if you don't know you're pregnant, you're less likely to experience symptoms that you're having as pregnancy symptoms. It could be that they're in just really distinct denial and don't want to even admit it to themselves, so it's not a conscious thought in their brain, and it could be a combination of those depending on the person. I think we've seen enough of these to know that it can happen, which is why I always say, if anything changes in your period, gaining weight, don't know why, anything going on that is out of the ordinary, and you're having sex with someone who can get you pregnant, take a pregnancy test. Take a pregnancy test. Just be sure.
I figured that the condom didn't work because I don't remember not using one.
One of the reasons why Amanda never suspected pregnancy is because her periods have always been irregular.
I'd miss 2 or 3 months and that would be no big deal, and I just spotted for a few days. That was normal for me.
Today, the woman who once believed her ovarian cysts made it impossible to get pregnant is the proud mother of 2 healthy children.
I have my boy.
My God, the shade, TLC.
The woman who once believed her ovarian cysts made it impossible to get pregnant is the proud mother of 2 healthy children.
Gosh.
At 2 years old, Alexander Joseph shows no signs that he once was so still in his mother's womb that she never knew that she was pregnant.
I'm not sure why he didn't move while I was pregnant. He has definitely made up for it now.
Super sweet episode. I'm so glad everything worked out. Thank you to TLC for the endless entertainment with your editing. I hope that you learned something today. If you did, leave a like on this video, or if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. I will see you next Monday. Check out NordVPN, the lovely sponsor of today's video.